Okay, so welcome to October the 29th, 2021 of another edition of Featured Business brought to you by Visibility Impact and your host, myself, James Moffat. And our special 64th guest, all the way from Colombia, right, drum roll, right, is, and I'm not going to try to pronounce Andreas, your name, so maybe you can introduce yourself quickly.
Yeah, thank you, James. Yeah, it's Andres. Yeah, pretty straightforward, at least for Spanish speakers. So I'm from Colombia. I founded a startup about a year ago. It's all based around autonomous drone technology and bringing access of goods to everyone here.
Okay, and just say your full name because I'm terrible at names.
Okay, my full name, so my first name is Andres and my last name is Martinez.
Okay.
So
Silva.
Andres Martinez.
And
Silva, yeah, that will be my second last name.
Oh, okay then. All right, so Isabel will understand because she speaks Spanish. All right. Any other
Spanish?
You are Spanish, okay. Not that you speak Spanish, you are Spanish. Actually, you could be a nationality and not speak that language, couldn't you? If you were born in another country, or not born, but moved to another country when you were a kid. Now, anyone speak Spanish here besides?
Well, I do, but I mean, besides the fact that whether I speak Spanish or not, it's from the fact that I've also got a double surname like Andres.
Oh yeah.
I know Spanish. Hola amigos. Hasta la vista, baby. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Muy bien.
I like it.
Well, for Bulgarian with Spanish, it should be perfect.
Okay, so
it is common in Latin America to have two last names. I don't know if in Spain it is two, but at least in Europe I don't think so, right?
No.
No.
Although our kids do, because my wife is from Brazil, so they've actually got two surnames. So they can either be two separate names, or you can join them together.
That's done more in the sort of the Anglo-Saxon countries. So in all Spanish-speaking countries will generally have two surnames, and the first surname is your father's first surname and your second surname is your mother's first surname. So it actually keeps your family tree alive, so they know what families you come from. That's the reason for the two surnames.
Yeah, I like that idea though, because my mum's side, I mean, the name is just lost then, and yeah. I think it's a pity.
It is, it's totally lost. And as a woman, if you get married, you don't lose your surnames. You don't change your surnames. Your status changes from a Miss to a Mrs. and that's it.
I think Laszlo can say something, but I think in Hungary, your second name is the mother's name, correct? Or...
No.
No?
No.
Maybe yes, I misunderstood.
Well, you can have two first names and typically one family name. Or if you get married, the wife can take up the husband's family name as well, but like in other countries, but no mother's name. No.
Okay. Anyway,
well, the only difference for Hungary is that we say the first name in Hungary is the second name, so we say the family name first.
Oh yeah, that confused me also in Switzerland, because they say when you fill in application forms, it says name, so I'm writing James, and then it says under there first name. I thought, oh, I've just written my first name already. But anyway, I mean, surely when they say name, it's name. I mean, if you're down the pub and say, well, what's your name? I'm not going to say my surname.
Bond, James Bond.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Bond. Actually, if you think about it, it said Bond James. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so welcome, you latecomers, right? Otto, Paul, and Ina. So we're just making a start. So we haven't played the song yet. So Emily can't make it today. So she's given me a song. It's a Boys to Men cover. And I'm going to share the screen so you can hear it. So we're just going to make a start. But before we do that, for Andrea, as you're new and you're the guest and you have no idea how this works, then I'm just going to explain kind of the flow. So we do this in combination with 𝗏𝗏𝗏, and Victoria is here from 𝗏𝗏𝗏. And yeah, I think I mentioned it's an entrepreneurial platform for entrepreneurs that want to join. It's an ecosystem. And maybe, Victoria, you just want to say a couple of words on that?
Yeah, sure. And this is an all-in-one platform for entrepreneurs to connect and collaborate. And if you become a member, then you have access to all the digital tools on our platform, but also to an amazing community. And I think almost everyone on this call is part of this community. So you can see different events like James's, for example, networking events, and also collaborate with other interesting people that are thinking in the same way as you. So just very briefly.
Okay, perfect. So if you want to know more, I'll send a link, and you can always connect with Victoria.
Yeah.
There's no obligation to join. It's just if you wish to, then that is the place there. So without further ado, so how this works is we have Emily kick this off. So it's a recording today. Then we learn about 𝗦𝗘𝗔𝗥 and about basically through the questionnaire that I sent, we go back into kind of your childhood and a bit about you as a person, and then we'll transition across to what you're doing now. I know people know it's something to do with drones, but we'll save that for a bit later. And then where you are in your business as a startup, and any questions to ask, feel free to ask at any point. And if there's people that want to ask questions, then they can also either put it in the chat or raise the hand and ask the question, or if it's appropriate, just jump in. Okay, and then we kind of conclude and with you, any links to connect with you, how we can follow you and everything else, anything that you need from us that we could help you with. And as I said, it's recorded, so you can share the recording with friends, family, or people that couldn't make it. Okay, so that further
great. Thank you.
You're welcome. So without further ado, and people here have been guests. I mean, there's a lot of been guests already. So raise your hand if you haven't been a guest. Oh, Victoria, you haven't been a guest yet. Oh, okay. Right. See, so there's been quite a few already. Right. So you are our 64th. So quite a few. Okay, so I'm just going to share my screen. And I gave you the chance to guess the Boys to Men song. Right. And, oh, wait a minute. I made a mistake there. Okay. And did you guess what it was? Did anyone guess? Nobody guessed. Okay.
We haven't heard anything.
Oh, you can see it there. You can see it now. Right. Okay. So let's just make that bigger. Right. You can see my screen?
Yeah.
Right. Here we go then.
you. Boy, are you ready? It's gonna be a long night. Throw your clothes on the floor. I'm gonna take my clothes off too. I made plans to be with you. Boy, whatever you ask me, you know I will do. I'll make love to you like you want me to, and I'll hold you tight, baby, all through the night. I'll make love to you when you want me to, and I will not let go till you tell me to. Baby, tonight is your night, and I will do you right. Just make a wish on your night. Anything that you ask, I will give you the love of your life, your life, your life. I'll make love to you like you want me to, and I'll hold you tight, baby, all through the night. I'll make love to you when you want me to, and I will not let go till you tell me to.
Fabulous. And she did do all the harmonies.
Yes, she does. Yeah,
That was impressive.
yeah. She does the she. Oh, hang on a minute. I've got others playing now. Got to stop those.
Well, it's gotten dark in my.
Right. Yeah, she does the harmony herself. So she records that, adds it in. She does her own editing and everything else. And yeah, excellent. Very impressed.
Stella, I left a message saying my name's Bond, James Bond.
Yes.
She's very sort of wow, like wow. I was like that. I wish she was singing it to me, or just to delete everybody else.
No, she was singing to me. I guess we're all thinking the same. Which one is she singing it to?
Yeah.
But anyway, so if you want to check out Emily, I mean, I can share the links. And yeah, fantastic singer. I love her stuff, her own stuff as well, not just the cover stuff. But anyway, right. So without further ado, let's switch to our guest before we run out of time. So our guest, as I said, our 64th guest, Andreas. So if I pronounce it wrong, then correct me, because I'm terrible with names. The spotlight is on you. So tell us first, where are you? And where are you living? I mean, where do you live and where were you born?
Okay, yeah, thank you, James. Actually, Emily sang really, really beautiful. That was a nice song. I'm currently...
Yeah, you can compliment her because I share this with her, so she'll get to see it anyway. So.
Okay, great. Actually, there's a friend of mine. When I share the post you sent me with the cover and my picture, and Emily's there, and then a friend of mine who lived in London told me like, I know her. I know her brother. So it was a nice coincidence. Yeah.
Yeah, you should start connecting these people then, because it's good for them as well. But anyway,
yes,
I'll share some links with you later.
Thank you.
So carry on.
I'm currently living in Colombia. I was born here. I was born in a city called Cali, which is at the south. It's close to the main port where everything comes by. I grew there like for about a year, and then I moved to the capital city, to Bogota, where I'm currently live. I lived there for around 10 years. It was basically due because my parents moved for work. But then later I went back to Cali. So when I was around 11 years old, I moved back. until basically I finished high school, and then I moved back to Bogota, but this time by myself because I went to college. I'm currently I do double bachelor over here, so I already major in physics, and I'm currently studying the last semester of systems engineer. So I still at Bogota.
Excellent. And you mentioned you moved with your family, so you got any siblings?
Yes, actually I do. I have one brother and one sister. Both of them are older than me, but my brother is actually only 1 year old. So we are really close because we basically grew together, had the same friends and everything. It was almost the same age.
Played football together?
Yes, so here we call it soccer. So
there's
the main difference.
You call it soccer there as well, are you?
Exactly. We call it
I
soccer.
thought that was only the
football,
US call it soccer. I didn't know South America called it that as well.
Yeah, it depends. So because we don't have like American football, that's not I think very much in here. It's mainly soccer. But then if it's in Spanish, then we call it football. So yes, it depends. But yeah, it's I did play soccer when I was younger. No, I was not the best at it, but I did play a lot. Everyone did basically, and it was pretty much fun. I was more into other sports. I was more into tennis, and yeah, I was also. From my family. I come from a family that it's very like from the countryside, so they like to go to farms, those kind of things. So I was more into animals, and that's also why I ended up in horseback riding.
Very nice. Yeah, I've done some of that also in Brazil because my wife's from Brazil, and typically without a saddle. And I'm thinking, well, where's the saddle? Oh no, you don't need a saddle. Oh, well, I do.
Yeah, that's kind of scary. But yes, actually, when I was learning, I had to learn the tricks. I don't know if you learned that, but you have to like turn on top of the horse and jump between one horse and the other.
Wow,
that was the scary part.
You were doing that?
Yeah, so when I was a kid. I don't think I can do it anymore, but I definitely did when I was a kid.
You could be in the circus.
Almost.
You training to join the circus?
Sort of. I think that those were the basics. I actually have a medal for earning. I don't remember. I was like 5 years old, and there was like in my class, you had to step on top of the horse, so the horse was moving and you were like on top. Wow. And I did it. Like I did it. I don't know how, because I was not the best in that class for sure. And I got the medal.
Oh, you didn't want to be a stuntman then?
No, not really. I don't know. I ended up I quit horseback riding. My brother kept going on, and he's very good. I quit it. I don't know why. I really I kept more like with. I moved more to the animals, so I really enjoyed feeding them and be with them. I didn't like that much riding them. So yes.
Yeah, I was just thinking I could see you as Zorro in a movie, right? Jumping from one horse to another. But anyway, yes. Yeah, I mean, animals also, I mean, fascinate me, and particularly the kids. I mean, showing them the animals. I don't like to tell them that they eat half of them, so but then yeah, we're moving away from meat because of that. But anyway, so with tennis, right? You played a lot of tennis. So were you in tournaments and things as well?
Yeah, so I played tennis almost when I was a kid. I played a lot. I had tournaments. I compete with my brother, so we were like together. I don't know how you call that in English, but you can play
doubles.
2 players at each side. Yeah, doubles. Yeah. So we played together. Sometimes I also played by myself, but we were mostly together. And then I don't know when I moved to Bogota again by myself. I kept playing, but only at uni. They have a field, and I played like only Wednesdays, and it started going down. I still play sometimes. I enjoy it. It's fun for me. and yeah, but I don't do it anymore. I don't do it like a competition or anything. I just do it out of fun, and I'm good at it. So because of course I play a lot, so it's fun, and
You didn't want
I
to be
also like the.
You didn't want to be a tennis star? I mean, go and do the circuit and travel the world?
Actually, I did admire some of the tennists. Like I still watch sometimes the matches, Nadal and Federer and all of that. But I actually never dream of that. I never dream of being a tennis.
See,
but I definitely watch the famous ones.
I just say that because I had a previous Brazilian girlfriend when I lived in London, and she grew up in Santa Catarina in Florianópolis in Brazil, and she went to school with 𝗪𝗡𝗪𝗏, otherwise known as Guga, and he was a tennis star, and yeah, he traveled the world on the circuit with kind of Federer and all of those others, and yeah, won some championships all over the place, particularly the French one. And yeah, I had the privilege to go and see him. So I'm just kind of thinking you could have been the Colombian tennis star.
Sounds fun. Actually, there are two guys from over here. They're actually from Cali. I used to play at the same place where they trained.
Yeah.
And they are famous. They won doubles in the US. I think
you beat them?
They were like not really.
You and your brother played doubles and beat them.
We played doubles. We didn't beat them, but we had the experience with playing with them.
Oh, excellent! But were they so much better?
They are really good. Like and they play really high speed. Like yeah, it's a very tough game to win.
Okay.
But,
so when you grew up and you finished your schooling and everything, or you're still doing some schooling actually, but you did have the opportunity to leave and do an experience of work here in Switzerland, of all places. So tell us about that and how you ended up. I mean, explain where you went, what it was, and how did you get to come to Switzerland?
So actually, it was perfect timing because the pandemic had just started. So it was like March last year, if I'm correct. Yeah. So it was all the confinement rules were starting. Anyone, like, I don't know, everyone was like, okay, this is going to be for a week, for a month, then it's going longer. Everything was very tricky. And then at uni, I was doing one semester at that time. I was not sure if I wanted to do the next semester because I was not sure about virtual classes. Like it was pretty, like, I didn't know if it was well implemented, if I was going to learn the same. And then I got an email from the START Fellowship, which is basically the student organization which I went with Switzerland. So what they were doing at that time is they wanted to
just pause you there. So START Fellowship is in which city?
So START Fellowship is based in St. Gallen, Uni St. Gallen in Switzerland.
Right. So I'm just going to pause you 1 second. So Philip, thanks for joining. So Philip, where are you from?
I actually grew up in St. Gallen.
Yeah, he's from St. Gallen, so you know the university quite well.
Yeah, I studied there as well, quite a few years ago.
Actually, when you studied, did they have these programs, the Start Global Fellowship programs?
I think so. They do a lot of entrepreneurial studies there.
Yeah,
so they're very famous for this.
Yeah. So Philip was on the call also with Valentina.
Okay, nice.
Anyway, we should connect you because there's kind of lots of synergies. So we'll do that later. So yeah, just returning back to your story. So this is in St. Gallen on the west, on the east side, on the very east side of Switzerland.
Exactly, German-speaking side. And then they sent an email. It was basically you can apply if you had some ideas, and they wanted to empower people with like non-business background, so mostly science and engineering, to learn that business side that was missing if you wanted to do any kind of in the startup or business plan. So I was very drawn into that because recently I had won a hackathon in which we got a very good solution, but we were not able to put it like on the market or anything. So it basically died because you have that thing that technologically wise works, but you don't know how to sell it. You don't know how to show it to people. So I was very into that. And then I decided I will apply. I applied with a friend. So we come up with an idea, which was not drones at the time. We were doing autonomous technology. So what we did is we applied with an idea of doing autonomous cars, basically doing smart lights. So if they come to a corner where there was a crossing, then they could interact with the environment, with things around them, and automatically know if they should cross or they shouldn't. And they should do that very fast. So it's no need for a driver to see a light or to see any kind of sign. So that's what the idea we applied to, and we basically passed, and we left Colombia actually in a humanitarian plane, because at the time there was no way of traveling to anywhere basically. And we were lucky we could do that, and we went to Switzerland, which was also a nice experience, because at the time in Colombia there was complete lockdown, so you couldn't do anything. And we fly to Switzerland, and Switzerland was, of course, a little more open. You could at least get out of your house. You could walk around. So it was a nice experience, and we skipped basically that lockdown in Colombia. And we also got to know a lot of people it was almost 8 months, 7 months, 7.5 months. We got to know a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of resources. We got some lessons from professors of Eunice and Galen on businesses, and that's how we started to shape what we wanted to do. And that's where the drone company was born, basically, with all the ideas we were getting from. We got also investors giving us feedback. We were able to pitch to different people, and they were always really open to tell us this is wrong, or try why you don't think about this, why you don't think about that. And that's how we start shaping our ideas. And we actually came, Valentina was part of that. We came with 20 people. So there was, it was divided. It was 10 from Colombia, and then from East Europe, from East Europe, and then we were all living in the same building, which was a dorm from the university. So that was a very good experience to, like, living with people who were looking to do the same, to learn the business part, to push their startups. And yeah, it was a very cool experience. And we returned back in March of this year. So it has been a very nice experience.
I mean, I spoke to quite a number of them. So yeah, from Eastern Europe, there was a lot from Romania.
Correct.
So when how did you find about particularly this in Switzerland? I mean, was it advertised in Colombia?
I think it was kind of luck. I was looking through my email, and my uni sent a newsletter every now and then with what are the opportunities you have. And you usually read really fast through that, and you see like what catches your eye. And it was there. It caught my eye. I really applied. Actually, now they're doing a second edition, and they're only bringing people from. They drop Eastern Europe. Now they are doing Brazil, Mexico, and Colombia. This year's edition. I also saw their email. So yeah, they are doing some advertising.
But could you do it again? Or once you've done it, that's you've had your chance?
No, I think that's one opportunity. And I don't think it makes sense to do it twice, because you already learned that thing they want to teach you. You get that tools. Actually, they invite me to talk to the new generation, basically, to share my experience. And
okay, but when you went, yeah, sorry to interrupt. When you went, and you mentioned Valentina, was she part of your group at the beginning, or was she completely independent and you met her? I mean, how did that
I didn't knew her. I didn't knew anyone, actually. I only knew my friend. He went also with me. About anyone else, I didn't know anything. Some of them we studied at the same uni, but we have never met each other. We were from different, like, for example, Valentina, she's an engineer. So we really didn't know each other, but we're Colombians, so we are usually really friendly. So as soon as we as we met, we become basically friends.
So in the pitching, because you had to go through kind of a number of rounds from, I can't remember how many people there were at the beginning, and then you had to go through investor round to have that opportunity to pitch in front of the investor. So yeah, just tell us about that story. How did that go?
So there were different contests. So there's Star Global makes a big summit. They have 5,000 guests. It's a big event, and they wanted to showcase some of us. And there were also some independent events. So there were pitch competitions to get to speak to certain investors or certain VCs too. So we had different contests while we were there. And each time we were competing against each other to get the best pitch, the best proposal. So we were selected to pitch in front of certain group of investors. And the biggest one will be that to pitch in front of the whole summit. We actually were competing very friendly. We were trying to improve what we were saying. Have a perfect pitch, because those pitches were 30 seconds, 1 minute, and then you have to say everything you needed to say with all the information really quickly, sometimes live, without making mistakes, without sounding like you're reading, or without tools we have never learned. Because when you study, at least over here, when you study engineering, when you study sciences, we were never taught how to make a presentation. So we were basically first time doing it. It was fun. We will learn a lot. Sometimes when you, it was kind of failure at the beginning. Like, at least I did the first competitions, I was not able to get in because there were others that did much better. But that was good, because then you learn and you tried. I don't know how many pitches I did, but it was hundreds of them. I changed my presentation several times, and then at some point you start getting it, and you are able to do it. It comes natural.
That was before you knew me, of course.
Yes.
So luckily, Valentina got to know me before she went to the next round, because I saw kind of her before and then what she created after, which was fantastic. I mean, particularly with the video. I think the video was edited and created by some guys in Colombia.
Yeah, I saw her video. It was actually really nice. She spent a lot of work on that. She really was into getting a better video. And she did I don't know, it was really quickly. She re-recorded everything overnight, and then 2 days, and she had an amazing
which was great, because she was in St. Gallen recording it, and the guys in Colombia edited it. And
yeah, that's cool.
It was really excellent. So it's not like the two saw each other to do it together. They were remote, but the end result was excellent. Yeah. So, but I've also seen yours since. I mean, are you using the same people for the videos, or you're doing your own thing?
So actually, I recorded the videos. I didn't edit them. And then I had a friend who was the one in charge of editing that. We also have some videos. I can share that with you.
Yeah, definitely share those later with us so we can take a look. It'd be nice to see kind of your early pitching, if you have any recordings of that, and then kind of what you ended up with later, because it's nice to see a kind of a before and after.
Yeah, I can definitely send you videos like from a year ago where everything seemed like, I actually laugh sometimes when I see myself a year ago pitching. And I have some pitch from last week. We recorded some now. For some YC applications, and they are pretty nice. They're really
cool. Definitely share those, so you can also ask us for some feedback, because we'll give you honest feedback. Right?
Thank you.
I'm quite critical, so just be
aware. That helps a lot. Sometimes
right.
Getting some people tell you like everything's fine, it looks great, and you sometimes need that honesty, like that's wrong.
No, you do, particularly
prove that.
And also, it needs to be modified depending on who the audience is. If it's an investor pitch, then it's more about the numbers. If it's a sales pitch, it's more about kind of the value proposition, everything else. I mean, it depends on the audience.
Exactly.
Right? So in Switzerland, you had some memorable experiences as well, I hear, right? Particularly skiing. Maybe you want to share that story. What is your first time skiing?
Yeah, so I had a ski before, like a couple of times in the US, but it was no downhill. So it was basically you push yourself, which I didn't enjoy much because it's kind of a lot of exercise. But then in Switzerland, we went there, we were always looking at movies, things where you see people skiing and you say like, that's what you have to do in Switzerland. Plus the beautiful mountains. So one day we said, okay, we are going to try this. And we went to 𝗬𝗎𝗪. And we started, of course, with the kids. We basically were on the floor most of the day, just trying and trying and trying. And all those kids were shaming us. They were skiing with single foot or whatever, and very, very good at skiing. And finally, we got to like master the kids track. So it was kind of already the afternoon. We were already able to go downhill with the kids track and then go up again and down again. And it was fun. But eventually you say like, okay, I want to go to a bigger one, something
but you
like
never
more.
Okay, sorry to interrupt. You didn't have any lessons or anything? You just thought you could do it from watching some videos?
No, so we did it from watching videos, and yes, that was it. And then we had a friend who was from Switzerland, and she was basically teaching us like, you just stand this way and you break this way and go ahead. But then she also went to the higher part because she was, of course, not enjoying being with the kids.
Right.
So we said in the afternoon, let's go up, like let's find
how many
easy track, of course.
So how many were there with you?
I can't remember the exact number, but with the original group was like 8 of us.
All right.
And let's say 4 of them were able to go up straightforward. They have skied before, and then 4 of us we were with the kids. And we said, okay, we want to go up, and we said, let's find an easy track. Of course, we don't want to go to anything too hard. And I don't know why we picked the wrong one, of course.
Which color did you pick?
I can't remember if it was black or something.
Black.
I can't remember. I can't remember. You should label those things better, because I didn't knew exactly. And then we said, okay, let's take this one, and it looked like in the map fine.
You didn't understand what the colors meant, did you?
No, we did not.
So you thought, oh, that black one looks short.
Yeah, it looks like short and harmless.
Very steep.
And it was already kind of late, so I can't remember. It was like 4 o'clock or 3:30.
Okay.
So we started climbing.
Yeah.
And we got to the top. We were already a bit scared because you could see, like, you could feel it was different. Like you could see first the sky and then the hole. So you were saying, if I go too much over there, I will die. And then it was, of course, more difficult. So we started, and there were a lot of curves, and we were not able to really perform them. We were always falling in them. And we were really tired. So at some point, we started noticing we were going really slowly. We started noticing no one else was coming down. We were like the last ones, and it was getting dark, and we were not able to continue. Like, we were really trying to continue going down, but it was really difficult. So we had the idea of going up, like we are going to climb back where we were, which was worst because, of course, getting like up was almost impossible. So at some point we were like, what we're going to do, because we cannot go down. There are too many like curves, and we are sliding basically. We are not skiing, and we cannot climb back because it's too slippery. So and then if we try to walk over the snow, then we just sink in the snow.
And how many?
So we were like,
how many of you were there at that time?
It was 3 of us. Yeah, it was 3 of us when we were there. Actually, Valentina was there.
Oh, really?
Yes, we were with Valentina there, and we were like saying, what are we going to do? Like, it's late, and
none
some
of you.
Of
Okay, and none of you were skiers.
No.
So you're going from kind of a nursery kids slope not being able to ski with no instruction, only from what you've seen on videos, up to the top of a mountain when it's nearly closing time to ski down the black run, which is the hardest one.
That's completely accurate.
Okay,
Yeah,
so carry on. You've got me hooked.
So we were there, and eventually we started to climb and climb and climb. But you feel like those, I don't know, Discovery Channel, like shows where you are going to start preparing to sleep, and you're going to open a hole in the snow, and you need to start looking for food, basically. So we're really scared, and I don't know how many hours later we were able to climb to the top. But while we were climbing, we noticed the I don't know how you call the things that bring you up, like the chairs that are
the chair.
Yeah, those were already off. So we noticed that, like, from far away, like that was off. There was no lights, so that was even scariest. Once we got up, we were actually not complete.
Who was panicking the most?
I think we were basically saying panicking, or we were not showing it. Like, we were trying to be calm, but I bet everyone was like really scared.
Do you think it was wise to go back up or to try and go down? Or, I mean, now looking back at it.
I think what we did was fine, because we were definitely closer to the top than to the bottom. And we were sliding too much, and we were like, I don't know, I think when going up, it was like more steady and
I tell you,
easier.
I bet when you talk about it now, you have a good laugh.
Yes, of course. But at the time, no. And then it was a couple of days where we were traumatized. So we were climbing up, and someone from up there was able to look to see us. And then he came down and he helped us like the last steps, because he couldn't ski properly. And also carrying the skis is really heavy, and it was really difficult. And when we got to the top, they told us, like, the thing is off. You have the only way of going down is through the track. And we were like, there is no way we're taking that track, even if someone comes with us. Like, and the guy said, like, we can't. So Valentina had the idea to say we were injured. So if you say you are injured, then they have to turn on the thing back on. So I was the injured one. I had to pretend to be injured in my legs, so they will start the thing and we could come down normally. So I pretend like for 20 minutes and Valentina just told me, like, okay, you are injured. and she started telling the guy, like, oh, but my friend, he cannot walk properly. And then I was just pretending. I don't know if I did a good show, but they believed us, and then they turned the thing. And we went down, and while we were going down, at the end of the going down, another friend ski, the one who was with us, it got like into the ground. So while the chair was moving, it was like a scary thing. He because his skis was touching the floor. So again, it was like everyone down was like, "What are you doing?" And but finally we were on the ground, and some friends of ours were waiting there, because they were waiting for us, and they had to tell everyone, like, our friends are up there and we can't find them. And that's why the guy who was there was looking at the mountain, because they have told him, like, take a look for them. And when we got there, they told us, like, okay, you are very lucky, because we were just calling the helicopter to find you. And if we have called the helicopter, then you will have to pay for it, which is really expensive, of course, in Switzerland. And so we got lucky there, and we were able to go down safely, traumatized but safely.
Wow.
And of course, some months later, we had a laugh about it. No more skiing, at least for me, during that trip.
Right. So you're not going to be a skier now. You stick to tennis.
Yes, I will stick to tennis. Maybe skiing with the kids. I'm fine there.
Stay on the nursery slopes.
Yes.
Actually, my kids could probably teach you how to ski, because they're better than me now. So they learn so fast. But anyway, so we could talk about this story forever, but we want to kind of transition now into kind of your startup. what is it that you're doing? Where are you in the business? And you're obviously back in Colombia.
Yes,
you're not going to do skiing again, right? You just watch the videos.
There is no way of doing skiing in Colombia, so we're safe over here.
Just stick to the videos.
The startup was conceived to work in Colombia, so everything we did in Switzerland was meant to be done in Colombia. So we did the business plan, we got technology ready, but everything was set to be performed over here. So we set a team over here with engineers, salespeople, and we have been doing that for the last year, in which we have tested all the technology and getting it ready. So what we do? So we do deliveries in less than 30 minutes with autonomous drones. And this means we have no need for pilots. We do have pilots in our team because safety requirements, and in case something goes wrong and all the testing period, you need someone to actually drive the drones. But the system right now works completely autonomous. We don't need pilots. And how it works is we take off from point A and we land in point B, and these are fixed routes. So there's, and I know many people have heard of Amazon delivering with drones, or different companies doing that. And you always see the picture from the drone landing or dropping a package like in the backyard of someone's house. That's not what we do. What we do is a different logistics system in which we create hubs. So we create a system that is hub to hub, in which those delivery and takeoff points are fixed, or they're always fixed. So this makes more sense in terms of logistics because taking off points are always the same. You always take off from the same restaurant, you always take off from the same pharmacy, or from the same mall, or from the same place. So you don't have to start changing your takeoff zone. Then the delivery is a little bit more tricky because people live in different places. So how we come to solve this is that people usually live, and at least that happens in Colombia. If you're in a town, you have like the main plaza, or you have the main park. If you live outside the city, usually houses are clustered together. So we put a delivery point close to those places. That helps us to do safety-wise is much better because the takeoff points and the landing points are the trickiest parts and most dangerous parts in the operation. So if they are fixed, you have a way of controlling them. You already know them. You have tested them. And then having fixed routes is what has helped us with regulations, because the authorities are really concerned about drones flying anywhere and wherever they want to, and that sort of thing. If you have fixed routes, you present them a plan with your routes and you say, okay, we're only going to fly here. So that has been a lot easier for them to approve.
Okay. So, and what is the name of the company?
It's called 𝗪𝗔𝗥. 𝗪𝗔𝗥 means collaboration, and it's a Greek word. And we call it collaboration is because our drones are able to collaborate between each other. This is in a system in which when they deliver a package, they know they can communicate with other drones and know which one should perform the next flight. And they do this with a swarm system, which is a collaboration system. Mm-hmm. So we call that 𝗪𝗪𝗥. The idea is to bring deliveries to all those people who don't have access to them currently, because that's really common here in Latin America. Roads are not the best. Traffic conditions are not the best. And topography is really harsh. So getting to places, for example, the flights we're performing right now are from the capital city here in Bogota to towns that are around. So we have like small suburbs that are around. And they are really actually very close. They are 10 kilometers away, 7 kilometers away, but this is in a straight line. If you are going to get there in a road, you'll have to border all the mountain, or you will have to climb the mountain and go down, which will take you, we made comparisons, 40 kilometers. So this is 40 kilometers in a car with bad traffic, so it's hours of driving. And we can simply fly there in 7 minutes, 10 minutes, depending where they are. Wow. And we can provide them with all the goods in the city. So that's the main point. So we set pickup points in the city, which are fixed, and we set up a delivery point in the town where it's fixed. And then we fly straight over there. our drone can carry up to 5 kilograms of weight. So it's a lot of weight. You can put several packages, and that's the point. We don't want to bring a rock of 5 kilograms. That doesn't make much sense. And actually, people do not transport things that are that heavy. We find out they transport things that are usually around 600 grams. So what we do is we pack several things in the same drone, which allows us to be more profitable, because each flight, it's bringing more stuff for what we can charge for. The technology right now.
Yeah, I was just going to ask about technology, the kind of the size of the drones and how many you got, and
yes.
Like
so right now we have one drone completely operational, like with everything we have implemented on top of it. So what we do is we don't build drones from scratch. We buy them. Mainly, these drones are designed for movies. So the one we currently have was used to record Fast and the Furious, the car chasings. So it's a very fast drone. It travels up to 70 kilometers an hour.
Wow.
And it's designed to have a camera down there to record the cars and whatever. But what we do is we replace the camera, we remove all of the drone's video system, and we implemented our own cargo box, which is able to keep temperature, to keep stability on things. So when the drone travels that fast, everything's perfect conditions. This drone measures about wingspan from each motor to each motor. So it has 6 motors around. It's completely symmetrical, 6 arms, 6 motors, and from each motor to the other. So if you see it like this way, it's 180 centimeters. So that's 1.8 meters. It's pretty big. It folds for traveling, but when it's flying, it's that way. We have a max climbing altitude of 500 meters, which allows us to cross mountains, basically, which is what we want. And we have modified the brains of the drone. So the drone used to work with a control. Actually, it used 2 controls. One for the person who's driving the drone and one for the one who's controlling the camera. We replace all of that and we put a computer on top that is able to perform all the autonomous work. So it drives itself. You just tell him go from point A to point B, and it performs all the flight by itself.
So you don't need a camera on it. I mean, the navigation's already kind of built in.
Yes, we do not require a camera. We don't want cameras either, because people is really concerned about privacy, and we also value that. So if we are flying a camera on top of your house, you will be concerned of someone recording you. Mm-hmm. In this case, that's not an issue. The drone has no cameras. So
typically, who are your clients for this? I mean, do you work with like the Postal Service, or do you work independently, or who are your clients?
So right now we are in the pilot phase, and we are working with several of them.
Is that a pun?
To do the testing.
Is that a pun? You're in the pilot phase?
Exactly. We're in the pilot phase. and right now we're talking with 2 main partners, which are essential for us. And the first one is Mensajeros Urbanos, which is the biggest delivery startup company over here. And they are also expanded to Mexico. So they do, if I'm not wrong, it's hundreds of thousands of deliveries a month. They basically base everything on motorcycles. So all their packages are delivered by motorcycles. And they are really interested in, we want to deliver further to more places. So we have talked with them, and they want to integrate their logistics system with us to perform certain of their deliveries through us. And then our second big partner is Pharmatodo, which is imagine Walgreens or CVS in the United States, but over here. So they have thousands of pharmacies, and same model. They sell food, they sell magazines, things, and also the pharmacy. And they want to reach more customers. They have perfect landing spaces in their stores, and they're looking forward. We are working also with them in a pilot to deliver their things. And then our final users right now are how you call that, when houses are together and they have like a gate. They're gated communities basically. So we're working with them to put our hubs there. And we have right now, the one I'm telling you on Tuesday, it's a community with 1,000 people living in it. We're going to do a flight from one 𝗪𝗪𝗏𝗏 to their community, 14 kilometers. We're going to fly in 15 minutes, and we're going to deliver whatever. We're going to ask someone there, what do you want to be delivered from 𝗪𝗪𝗏𝗏, and then we will deliver that.
I have tons and tons of questions, and we're just going to kind of run out of time if I start asking questions. But I mean, we see some hands up there, so I'll let them ask the questions first, because it might be a question I was going to ask anyway. So I'm not sure who was first.
Philip.
Philip, off you go.
And then we give to Connie.
Okay, thank you. Just very quick. How do you deal with weather conditions there? You just told that topology is there are harsh conditions there in mountains. How do you deal with upwinds, downwinds, rain, thunderstorms? And the second question is, do you just offer a delivery from point A to B, or do you also offer services, like additional services for your clients?
Yes, that's a very good question, both of them. So to address the first one, yeah, topography is a difficult condition that actually, as you said, affects the winds. So we can have winds that are 65 kilometers an hour against the drone, which is really powerful wind. We can address that basically by using more energy. If we use more energy, the drone can still perform. But then, of course, we take that into account when we do our numbers of energy consumption and battery usage, because, of course, it's going to consume more. We also put our paths through routes which we know winds are less likely to be that strong. To address the part of raining, our drone currently is not waterproof completely, so we cannot fly during heavy rain. We are building a version that is waterproof, and it can fly in rain, but not very heavy rain. So it can fly when, and that's very common over here, is you have light rain like most of the day, so we can fly during those kind of rains. But if you have a storm, then yeah, we have to suspend the operation because it's not safe to do it. We also know that, so we created schedules during the day. We know which time we are most likely not to fly, and we have a system which is actually connected to the airplane weather here in Colombia, in which we can predict with some time in advance. It's 30 minutes in advance. We can know almost for 100% sure if it's going to rain or not. So we can cancel orders or stop receiving them, as our service is 30-minute delivery. Then if we cancel them 30 minutes before, it's basically not accepting more deliveries during that period of time. And then what was your second question? It was about the if we offer extra services. So we offer the delivery from point A to point B, as you said. And we do this, for example, with the partner we're working right now. We offer their company, their logistics company, that service from point A to point B, and they complement they bring the package to the point end, and then they pick it up from point B. For regular customers, we offer the same thing. We offer them, you can pick up, you need to come to the hub to pick up your package. But if you don't want to do that, we have a partnership with this company, which is Mensajeros Urbanos, which can complement that extra step and bring it to your house. And something we have also find out is gated communities in which we work, they have an internal delivery system. So we offer to connect with that. We deliver to their delivery system so they can deliver inside their community.
Have you ever thought about the service providing with insurance companies? Like, we insure your freight from point A to B in case of a drone loss.
We do that. So I forgot that one. We have 3 types of insurance. So we insure ourselves with civil liability in case the drone drops and does some damage to any property. We also insure ourselves in drone loss. So if someone steals a drone, if drones shoot down Boyan was talking about people taking drones down before. And we also offer to insurance the freight. So if you are, whatever you're carrying is not right now very common to us to be asked for that, because the products we are delivering right now. So if you buy some food, you don't want to insurance your food. That's not a common thing to do. You don't insurance, like with the pharmacy we're working with, you don't insurance per purchase on a pharmacy. But we do offer that possibility, and we're looking for it because we are also looking to get into e-commerce. And when you start delivering e-commerce, then the value of what you are delivering increases dramatically. So yes.
Right, some great stuff. There's tons of questions more, so we'll just move over to Connie. Was Connie next, or was it Boyan? Connie next. Okay.
Yeah, I was wondering, what about the energy efficiency with drones? You know, because if you compare it with trucks, they can deliver hundreds of packages in one way, and drones only can deliver 5 kilos, as you said. So I'm interested in the energy efficiency.
Yes, of course. We are not energy efficiently like comparable to a truck, because a truck will be much better because you can pack tons and tons on a truck and you can deliver, but there's a difference. We are not competing with the truck. We are competing with the bicycles, the motorcycles, and those delivery systems that allow you to express delivery. If you have a truck, you cannot express delivery. And that's because of two things. Because the truck needs to take a road. A truck is slow and you have to plan ahead, but also because you have to fill the truck. And if you are going to take a truck to the places where we go, you need to fill it with things that are going to those places. And because they are not as dense as a whole city, you will take weeks to fill it. And that's what happens right now. They have access to deliveries, but these deliveries happen weekly or they happen every 3 days. Because the logistics company are filling a truck, and when they finish filling it, then they send the truck, and then your deliveries are 3 days later or 4 days later, and that's not what we are targeting. We're targeting to do 30 minutes delivery, which is what they are lacking and what they are actually looking for. So it's a different comparison, and in this case, our direct competitions are motorcycles, basically, because if you want to reach those points, a bicycle could do it, but then it will take a very long time for someone to be pedaling and getting there. So the alternative is a motorcycle, which are fast, but they have two issues. The first one is that things move a lot in a motorcycle. The second one is that it's really dangerous. The most accidents here in Colombia, in terms of traffic accidents, are with motorcycles. And most of them are with motorcycles delivering. The other issue is the road is much longer to get there. And it's not only much longer, but it's uphill and downhill. So our drone is much faster, and energy-wise, you are taking less distance. You are traveling faster, straight line, so it is more efficient.
I was just thinking, as a backup, in case the drone failed, you could always jump on a horse.
and then bring the package like standing on top of it.
Yeah, exactly. Because the horse can go across the fields and things, and it doesn't have to stick to the road, I guess. And I mean, as a kind of backup, just in case the drone failed. But
yeah, sounds like a plan.
Just quickly before Boyan asks, I mean, so you just have one drone at the moment?
We have one operational drone at the moment. We are working on a second prototype, which is going to be able to carry more weight. It's going to be the waterproof system. It's a changing design, so it's more efficient in terms of wind resistance. And the most important, we're doing it for a fraction of the price we did the first one.
Okay, so roughly how much is a drone that size and with that specification?
So a drone that size, if you buy it right now on the market without any modification, is around $7,000 without batteries. So you have to account that each pack of batteries is around $1,200. We do exchange of batteries in each flight, so we need around 4 packages of them to perform a decent logistic service. And our modifications to the drone itself are around another $8,000.
Wow.
So that will be the price.
Okay, over to Bojan.
Okay, where do you see your company in 5 years?
That's a very good question, the vision question. So we want to bring deliveries to all of these places we are targeting, or everyone who doesn't have access to 30-minute deliveries. We want to make that universal, or at least to everyone in Colombia. And we are looking forward to have a fleet of drones that is fully capable of performing that, but that is not filling the skies. We don't see a future in which the skies are full of drones. We do not envision that. We envision that you have the least amount of drones, but delivering the most amount of packages. We also want to do intercity connections. So we want to connect cities that are 100 kilometers away, 200 kilometers away. Right now, we can reach up to 20 kilometers. We want to have that 200. We also want to do intra-city, which is something we are really excited about. It's terms of permits and also experience, because right now we try to fly not over people, but over land. But if you're going to do intra-city, then you need to fly over people a lot. So we want to get that experience. So in 5 years, we can have connections between the city, imagine the downtown of Bogota with the north of Bogota, or even in cities like European cities, where you can see downtowns that are difficult to reach, for example, in Paris or in London, just flying drones up there to deliver goods.
Okay, so I've just got to jump in here because we've kind of gone over the time now. So thanks, people, for staying on. Others had to drop off because of other commitments. But I mean, for me, this is very fascinating. I've got tons and tons of questions, although we're not going to get through those. So tell us kind of where you are now in your business and what is it that you need to either expand or to progress the business forward?
So we are currently raising money to expand. We're looking for $200,000 to build the next generation of our fleet and start recurring operations. So we want to start flying every day. For this, we are basically running pilots, so people get to see it, but we also got the data to show the authorities so they approve the plans, because they always ask like how many flights you have performed, how many of them have been successful. If you have not flown enough, then they will tell you you don't have enough flights. So we are working on that, and we are also steering. Now, our pilots used to be a lot with clients. Now we're steering them to have them with investors. So we invite investors to see the technology work. And if they see that, then they are more into investing. And that's where we are. We're raising that capital to increase our fleet and start like fully commercial operations. We already got the innovation permit, and we hope in the next months, before the end of the year, to have the fully commercial permit. Also, we're applying to different accelerators, because we see also that as part of how we can raise that investment. So we're applying to Y Combinator, we are applying to Techstars, we are applying to other ones in LATAM too.
Yeah, I think what you're doing is excellent. And particularly, I mean, when it comes to kind of emergency aid or medical equipment that you can get quicker to a scene rather than on public transport or however, through the mountains or whatever, then this is excellent and something that is very much needed, particularly in a country like Colombia, but I guess all over the world. So yes, I now know we could talk a lot more about this. So is there kind of any concluding? I mean, you're going to share the links anyway, so we can have those, and I'll distribute those around, and also the video. So for people to connect to you, what's the best way?
You can email me at andres@stigmergy.com.co. I can share my email here on the chat. But also through our webpage, we have a form. You can just fill it and send it. We always receive those messages. And then you can also LinkedIn at me, if you can text me. We also have a YouTube channel in which we share the advances. We have flight tests over there. We have deliveries. We show the demos so you can see how it works. I'm going to share now my email through the chat.
Right, excellent.
if you want
And
to.
is there, I mean, as you've gone kind of through this entrepreneurial journey and you went to St. Gallen, you did the fellowship, you did some pitching, you got stuck up a mountain and other things. Have you got kind of anything that you want to kind of leave us with from your own experience of kind of adventuring out into the entrepreneurial world?
Yes, of course. And I think this is the message I always try to leave. And it's that at first I was very uncertain on what to do. If I want to do a startup, because it takes money, it takes time, it takes a lot of emotional effort to sometimes when you fail, you feel like what I'm doing with my life, why I'm into this. And those moments happen a lot. Like you always see like the stories of successful entrepreneurs, but you don't see sometimes like those things that happen while you are building a company, which are difficult. Sometimes you have situations where you no longer have money, you no longer have the support from certain people you needed, and then you feel like very, really low. But and I always try to live that those things will happen, but they will also go, and then you will also see good times in which you see that your ideas are becoming reality, and you can see the good work you're doing is showing up. So you see when we saw like our first delivery, when we saw like people really happy when we did, they told us we have never received a delivery here in less than an hour, in less than 2 hours. Now we are changing our lives. We see, for example, patients who need to like literally walk to towns to get their medicine, and now they say you just bring it to here to the park. I just have to get out of my house, walk one block, and I get it. Then those things are what you are working for, and they're worth. And I always say, if you have an idea, you should give it a shot, and you should try to do it. You might fail, but you will always learn from that failure. So that's always what I try to live. Try your ideas, give them a shot.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's great. And failure is not failing, it's learning. And
exactly.
We need to fail because we need to learn. And for what you do is fantastic. And as I said, I want to kind of come on that journey with you and learn more about what you're doing, and yeah, check out some of these videos and stuff. So you're a fantastic guest, and I'm sure people are going to want to connect and maybe ask you more questions. And yeah, I wish you great success. And I mean, I'd love to see kind of in the near future that you have more drones doing more great jobs. And I guess the rewards are also the satisfaction that you've actually done what you said you're going to do, and the delivery has got there, and it's been a success. And the kind of the gratitude that people are seeing because of that is self-satisfaction that you're doing a good job, and it kind of all makes sense now and is working.
Yes, completely. I agree with that. And yeah, I will share with you, and I'm happy to connect with everyone.
Right. Okay. So did everyone find this enjoyable? Yeah.
Absolutely. It was really great. Thank you.
Right. Okay then.
Good luck.
Yeah. And
Thank
Pete,
you.
oh yeah, Pete was listening still. Right.
Yeah, listening.
Pete is a pilot.
Yeah, Pete's a pilot actually. Yeah. Yeah, and Philip's also a pilot.
I'm astronaut only.
Yeah, yeah, and Boyan's an astronaut. Yeah.
Yeah, you're a pilot too, Boyan.
Yeah.
Astronaut.
Yeah.
Yes, future, not yet,
Yeah.
but on my way.
Laszlo could do the deliveries in a go-kart, right? Because he's super fast.
Absolutely. I'm also into drones, so I
yeah.
can join as well. Yeah. It's just well, it's obviously
Nice.
as a hobby, not as a profession, but you never know.
You have one?
Yep. Yeah, a small one.
All right.
I love it.
But
I really
actually,
love it.
those like drones right now, most of the people start with a hobby. Our main engineer right now, he started with a hobby. He used to build airplane models, and then he moved into drones. He's one of the best, and they start as a hobby.
No, it's really good fun.
Yeah.
Also, just one last comment. A very good friend of mine in Switzerland, actually, he moved to Lugano. He works for an American company. They started a Swiss post service from labs to hospitals, you know, like urgent deliveries of blood samples and stuff like that. But they work, it's quite a huge, you know, drone. They can carry up to, I think, 45 kilos of load. And he's doing it a full time. It's a small team based in Switzerland. You know, they have like a full control center, like what you see in airports and stuff. And it's really very high, you know, high professional stuff. And anyway, I was just following him as well, you know, how they started. You know, they had once crashed in the 𝗬𝗢𝗪𝗥, and then, you know, they were, you know, suspended for like 1 year because it was a federal, you know, aviation investigation stuff going on. But it's lots of things, you know, related to that. It's not that simple that you go up and then, you know, land somewhere. So millions of things to look at. But anyway, it's a great story, and yeah, I wish you good luck with the developments.
Thank you. Is that Matternet?
Yes, Matternet.
Yeah. I know them. I got to, and the accident was a shame because they changed a lot of the rules.
Yeah.
But yes.
Okay, so you know
very
them.
nice company.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Cool. Small world.
So I do encourage you all to connect. It's good fun. Also to jump back on kind of this show maybe in a year's time or so, and let us know where you are then. And I'll be interested to see the development and kind of what's come from that. And maybe there'll be other services that you offer as a continuation of and ideas that you think of on that journey as well. So you've been our 64th guest, so thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure to hear your story. And there's other stories that there was many that you sent me in the questionnaire that it would be nice to touch on those as well. There's not enough time to try and cram it all in, and we wanted to get to the point of obviously what you're doing now. So do come on again and be a guest later. And yeah, I wish you all the success. So thank you everybody for being on this weekly show, and I wish you all a wonderful weekend and see you next week.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Cheers.
Great weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.